Welcome back to my channel. So we're still talking about the government shutdown, and basically we're on to day 36, the longest shutdown in history. And we're talking about it because there's so many things that the shutdown is affecting. So people want to know. It's not like you can do anything without thinking about what is going on with the shutdown right now. And that's just and it's the holiday season. So this shutdown couldn't have came at a better time because everybody was basically preparing for the holidays. But I don't think that people are much worried about holidays right now, but just the fact that what is going on and why is this shutdown still going on after so long? Like, it's the longest one um, in history. So let's take a look at this video so we could find out some more and talk about it.
And welcome back to Live Now from Fox. The government shutdown entering day 36. It is now the longest on record as you're taking a live look there at Capitol Hill. As I just said here, entering day 36, which means it broke the record as the longest ever, disrupting the lives of millions of Americans with federal program cuts, flight delays, and federal workers nationwide left without paychecks.
Program cuts, flight delays. The flight delays are also something that I want to talk about because the airports are crowded and delayed, and it's nothing like being in an airport and not being able to get to where you want to go to and just being delayed and sitting around. And the fact that a lot of workers are calling out and they're not getting their pay, um, it just seems like if the shutdown does not stop, it will get worse. So, how much longer can people deal with this?
President Trump has said he won't negotiate with Democrats over their demands to discuss expiring health insurance subsidies until they agree to reopen the government. He also shared this to Truth Social just yesterday, and we brought you this news when it broke here, as he said that SNAP benefits won't be paid until the shutdown ends as well.
So this says SNAP benefits, which increased by billions and billions of dollars, many-fold during crooked Joe Biden's disastrous term in office, due to the fact that they were half-heartedly handed to anyone for the asking, as opposed to just those in need, which is the purpose of SNAP, will be given only when the radical left Democrats open up the government, which they can easily do, and not before. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And that is his response. So you see,
Trump, whose first term at the White House set the previous government shutdown record, is set to meet early today for breakfast with GOP senators, but no talks have been scheduled with the Democrats. Talks have intensified among some centrist senators trying to negotiate an end to the stalemate, and expectations are high that it would break once election results were fully tallied in Tuesday's off-year races. Democrats sweeping key contests for governor in Virginia and New Jersey and New York City mayor. But earlier in the afternoon, Senate Democrats left an hours-long private meeting with no certain path forward. And we actually had heard from Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer, as he said, we're exploring all the options. President Trump's approach to this shutdown is different than his first term, when the government was partially closed for 35 days over his request for funds to build the U.S.-Mexico border wall. And at that time, he did meet publicly and negotiated with congressional leaders. But this time, the congressional leaders are at a standoff, and House Speaker Mike Johnson sent lawmakers home in September after they approved their own funding bill. In the meantime, food aid, child care funds, and countless other government services are being interrupted, and hundreds of thousands of federal
food aid, child care, and thousands of other government subsidies and programs are being affected by this. And basically that's what this shutdown is doing. It's because they have not negotiated, um, and it's just, will this be over soon? And if it's not, it's going to just get worse. And how much worse can it get from what's going on? People are dealing with so many things: children out of school, Head Start, daycare. People are hungry and not able to eat, or delayed food, or delayed services, or this people delayed payments, delayed employment checks, funds. So many things are going on, and it's like, you know the people are paying for the shutdown, while everything everything is beyond their control. Everything is beyond the people's control, and it just doesn't seem right that all this is going on during the shutdown.
Workers have been furloughed or expected to come to work without pay. We also heard from Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy as he predicted there could be even further impacts on air travel next week if air traffic controllers miss another paycheck. Labor unions are putting pressure on lawmakers to reopen the government. Senate Majority Leader John Thune said this has been not only the longest shutdown, but also, quote, the most severe shutdown on record. I wanted to share some comments here from Thune just the other day.
Now in the 35th day of the shutdown, the longest shutdown on record and the most severe shutdown on record, something that was totally unnecessary in the first place, obviously, but we're hoping this will be the week when the Democrats come to their senses and decide to reopen the government. Of course, if you look at why we are here in the first place, it's hard to explain. I still don't know exactly what it is they want. We have accommodated a lot of their questions and concerns. They want to have a discussion about health care. We offered that up a long time ago. And, clearly I've talked repeatedly about having a normal appropriations process where we put bills on the floor, open it up to the amendment process, and allow people to have their voices heard and how we fund the government the old-fashioned way. So I'm still at a loss as to what it is exactly they're trying to get out of this. The one thing I do know is as the days roll by, the consequences and pain of the shutdown grow more severe for the American people. And especially if you are a government employee or the family of a government employee who's no longer getting paid, there are more and more stories of people out there who are trying to live paycheck to paycheck. And now you've got the food assistance going away, the SNAP program. You have Head Start and young kids who need to be able to have access to education. That's increasingly at risk. You'll see more and more probably next week with Veterans Day rolling around, Democrats out there posting nice videos and photos with veterans, which most of us probably should and will do. But the better thing they could do is actually support our veterans by opening up the government and allowing these regional offices to get open today, open again, and allow the GI Bill hotline to start functioning and operating again. There are so many ways in which Americans are impacted by this, and certainly our veterans and our troops come to mind immediately. So I'm hopeful again that this is the week in which the Democrats will conclude that this is not a good thing, and while they may believe politically that it's in their best interest, and obviously we've seen lots of statements that suggest that, it's certainly not in the best interest of the American people. The American people are those who are caught up in the political games being played here in the Senate by the Senate Democrats. All it takes is 5 of them. We have a bill sitting at the desk, which we voted on repeatedly. It came over from the House of Representatives, meaning that as soon as the Senate passes it, it goes directly to the President. He will sign it into law. The government will reopen. And all these adverse consequences that are being experienced by people across this country will go away. That's all it takes. 5 more Democrats, 5 Democrat senators with the courage to take on their political base and their leaders and to do what's in the best interest of the American people.
Yeah, and so that's basically the update that we're getting. Veterans Day is coming up, and all the people that are worried about the country and do for the country, work for the country, and make this country run efficiently. Outside of the shutdown, you know, uh, we're waiting because this is just affecting so many things. So, how have you been affected by this shutdown? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. How are you handling these things? This is definitely detrimental to each and every one of us, and we can see it, um, all of us, and we can feel it as well. So this is hopefully they negotiate and get things back where it needs to be. But in the meantime, I will be updating what's going on moving forward so that you can find out what's going on right here, because I will be updating this. And just it just shocks me that this is the most severe shutdown that we have had, and still it's also the longest. So even with the impacts that were had and felt from this shutdown, it still continued into the longest in history. So I mean, this is not what the people were exactly wanting or thinking about, that this was going to be the longest in history, that people were going to go without food, daycares are going to shut down, and airports are going to be crowded. It's like you never seen them, or people wouldn't show up. Like, how is this happening? How are things supposed to work without the people there to do their job? But I know this is just not what's on my mind or what's on your mind. I know it has to be on their mind. And so hopefully they'll get to the table again and negotiate this, and make a negotiation, and we can see that what the people need, and they see that this is what the people need, because this is overall this is an overall situation. It's not about one person, one uh set of people. This is, the overall country going through this. So let me know what you think about this and how you feel about this so far, being the longest shutdown and the most severe shutdown. And we already knew that this was the most severe shutdown because of the impact and because of what everybody is feeling. This is just is very, very severe. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed yet. And I'll see you in the next video.